Hello. So, finally a new development video. So sadly I've started pretty late to record now, but yeah, I started because I found a very interesting idea. I think I'm going down an interesting road, and I kind of want to explain what I'm thinking about this and why I want this to go. So here we are currently in the console. I renamed this in the engine previously. It was called the game dev and then command line. Now it's called console, which more accurately reflects what it's supposed to be. And it already has been a huge change. But actually only in the... So yeah, it's been pretty empty previously. And now the idea is... the idea I already documented in the roadmap is to transform it here. So yeah, first of all make it kind of a true console, which kind of means changing the rendering. Sadly I can't compile right now. Yeah, because I'm in the middle of some changes, quite a lot. Yeah, but previously the command line was just a maybe it's actually still compiled. Let me see, just check and show it real quick. Yeah, so this is still an old program compiled. So I can type here, I can execute something. The user could technically already register commands. Commands would already work. Yeah, there's nothing much. I can, with arrow up and down, I can already switch to the previous commands. That works. Autocomplete is actually also working already, but there's no commands registered. Yeah, and then I can make it go away, right, and it eats all the inputs if you open it, as it should. Okay, so first of all, I've also seen some interesting posts in the Railip Discord every once in a while from console implementations, and I don't know, I just find it really cool and inspiring to just kind of improve mine as well. Yeah, so first of all, make it look like in other games, right? Like where the console comes in kind of from the top, like for example in Skyrim or something, or like the Doom games or something. It's software, it comes down or something, yeah. And yeah, so change the rendering. Then I want to see the history as well, what I typed. I want to see like my history going up here and stuff. A lot of just the features. And then of course the most interesting thing is command with parameters, right? And making a cool software interface for them. And yeah, and then the logging messages go to the console as well. I already refactored the logging today. Added a callback to Railip so that all Railip loggings go to the magique logging and so on. And yeah, so this will also all go into the console, so you can because you might not have the standard out open, right? You might just start the game and then you just only see the game screen and no terminal. Then you also want to see what's going on. Yeah, and then do some default commands like the print stuff, and then yeah, the parameters as I just said. So where are we at right now? I've already renamed it. That's a lot of description and a lot of thoughts, and the interface is basically almost done, at least right now. Right now I have to kind of implement it and see if everything works out as I wanted. So the parsing is gonna be, I mean, the whole thing. So I really want to strike a balance with pretty much everything in magique between being easy enough to be accessible, but also comprehensive enough so that you can actually do stuff with it, right? This is always the tight line, and it's actually like the most time, like probably not the most time, but a lot of time is spent actually designing things instead of just implementing them, right? This is maybe something you would Just adjust the mic. Maybe this might be just something you might not expect, but yeah, very well can happen. So if the given parameter types and count, I mean that's fun. If the number of parameters there. Okay, so yeah, so it should be easy enough. So really a command is just you open a command, you type in the name you registered the command with, and then the parameters. Parameters are all separated by at least one white space, can be more, will just be ignored. And yeah, and then there are the parameters. Yeah, and then there's very simple passing rules, 3 different types only a single number type, which both handles floating point, non-floating points, just because I mean you don't need explicit integers or floats, will just be handled as a float. Yeah, so of number is then just a concatenation, or like a row of numeric characters, which can be separated by a single dot, right? But only a single one. As soon as the second one comes, it's going to be a string again, because it's not a number. Well, we come to that later. So yeah, it's just a row of numbers and at max a single dot. So this would be 2 numbers, and this would then be a string, because it's not a number. Then, so it's also parsed from top to bottom, right? So the second type is then the Boolean type, which just makes it a bit more easy to work with, right? You could say like Boolean is also a number, but then not really, right? Because if you want to like set the coordinates to 0, and then you Boolean 0, right? So yeah, so you do want an explicit type, which we have here, and then we have some aliases, right? False, 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 off and off, true and true, and true, and on and on. Okay, and then the last type is just a string. So everything that's not a special type of the above here is just going to be a string if it's only in ASCII. Yeah, but I don't know why it's not necessarily important really that this is only ASCII, but I mean it kind of is, right? Because actually it is, because I only want to work with char, right? I don't want to use like white char or something. So yeah, it should only be ASCII actually. Okay, yeah, and so this is very simple, I think, but it still allows you to do pretty much everything would want to do. So they would just get some examples, which is a number, Boolean, and Boolean. And then if a number, a string, and a number, then this is a string, and number. Yeah. And so, yeah, and then the interface just use the builder pattern, which I really like, just from the particles back then. I think it's a really cool software interface, because that's also what I'm going for, right? Magique is an engine that's controlled through software and through C++, and so I want to use the tools available to make it really nice to work with, right? I think using the builder pattern is, I mean, I don't actually like, talking about the patterns and like using the explicit names, but just this kind of way of doing things, where you just chain the methods. I think it's really nice. Yeah, so I actually have to return a reference here, right? So how would this then work? We can already make the example, right? I'm going to the because this okay, this is annoying. It doesn't generate the include character. Okay. So yeah, it's always useful to like just make an example, because or like test driven development. But again, I don't really like those kind of keywords. But I mean, in the end, you kind of need to test out your code in some way. So you might as well like already make the example and kind of document what you're doing, right? Because in the beginning, I was just kind of having my main method and then implementing everything to check if it works and how I want it, and then you just delete it into the next feature instead of like explicitly just making the example. Yeah, speaking about tests, I guess at some point I will have to introduce some tests actually, especially with the probably only for like the IO and stuff, to like on the compression, just to make sure that everything is fine. And also some benchmarks maybe to like detect regressions or speedups. Especially as I specified in a roadmap as well, adding some more SIMD with the XMD library, which was a lot of fun to work with in another project. So I really want to add this. So yeah, I want to add it here because my IDE line works in a way that the file has to be in the build system. Otherwise, yeah, it will not be parsed and nothing works. So if I add a magique example, just to making the example. So let's actually copy just this code. Although I every time I kind of don't like it, right? Because you should, the code, like the framework I do, you shouldn't want to copy code, right? Okay, so yeah, you shouldn't want to. You should not want to copy when working with their own framework, because then it means But I mean, in the end, it's also C++, which some people say it's verbose, right? But okay. I'm not getting the complete here, which is annoying. Oh, because I'm not. Right. Okay, now I'm back in the loop. Okay, so what do I actually need here? Do I need on startup? So yeah, I do. So I wanna I don't wanna make commands. So I go here. I go into game dev console. Then I do want. Why am I not getting? Okay, it's called update. I mean, I should know this draw game. I was searching for an on update. Okay. So do I actually want to draw something? I guess I wanna. Yeah, I guess I wanna draw some help text, right? This is going to be. This is also something I just learned, like this, right? Then like this, like this. Okay, making these multi-line texts. It's very nice. So then draw text, which includes the relip here. I want this diamond brace include. Okay, text is first. 25 and the black. Okay. Actually, you can't change the key bindings yet, but That's trivial to do, right? Yeah, and so so that's like a notation, right? For just like this. Right. Do I see it somewhere? I guess I can just paste it in here. Okay, so I mean, this is like just from a Minecraft commands page, right? You should always search for inspiration. And I mean, the Minecraft command line, I guess everybody has used it, and it's actually very similar to what I'm trying to do, right? Because it cuts a good balance between being easy and also comprehensive, or like flexible or advanced. So the syntax would then be, so yeah, so I'm already specifying the like command, so then I need the parameter argument here. Yeah, so it can be either one, right? So it can be a number or a bool or a string. Default command, yeah, like a print, and then like on off, like on off. Yeah, then bool is like yeah, on off. And like true, false. Okay, maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, it's not too important. Number. I'm just gonna do like examples. I hope that's like to a string. Okay. So like this, I guess this is then the full documentation. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess it can take multiple values, right? Like this. I mean, I guess I want to limit it somehow, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? We can actually already, I mean, I guess we can't, yeah, we can't run it because it doesn't compile yet. But okay, console. Let's kind of clean this up a bit here. Okay, so now I think I've gone over the interface long enough. Like actually, I can't do too much today. So, but just look at the builder pattern. I like the command builder at least. So yeah, I guess we can actually already do like just a command. So yeah, you build a command like the what kind of command do we want to build? Because we already the prints are already going to be a default method, right? So it's actually hard. Like print hello maybe. So we start with the command builder. What we actually do using namespace magique. Remove redundant qualifier. And so we initialize the command name hello. Does this actually work? I guess it does, but it's not named. Okay, yeah, it does work. What did I use here? So I have the emitter base. Man, I also need a particle example then, but these are pretty quick to set up. Okay, so I just had like the emitter, then I did not have any kind of build function, right? Then I had like the opaque kind of background data. Yeah. So the interface looks nice. Right, I mean, I guess I can do it like this. Can I do it like this? I guess I can, yeah. Guess I actually don't want to do it. So I can add a param. Wait, do I actually need a name for a parameter? Sure, that's a question. Let's look at the Minecraft thing. Yeah, I mean that's the command syntax. Restrictions, unparsable. Yeah, so these are the different. So for example, camera perspective. I mean, these are all pretty. Maybe do something like an item. We have multiple enchant. Okay, this should be a bit more sophisticated. So I mean, I guess they're kind of named, right? And I guess it would be easier to then identify, but they are in order, right? So I guess the order already, yeah, uniquely identifies a parameter, so you don't necessarily need a name. Yeah, I mean, but I guess it's clearer, and also I guess it's easier to work with because it just forces it to be a bit more explicit. For example, I mean, print hello doesn't have any print name. Actually, this is probably a good one. Yeah. So I call this name. Type is going to be string. This is pretty long, right? But I've actually played around with it. Either make it a non-class enum, right? But then I have this string floating around, which I don't want. But I also can't really make it shorter, like data type or something, because then it's too generic. I don't know. But it's fine, right? You actually only need to call it once, and then it's like some sort of startup function. You register them, and then it's done, right? Okay, so optional is false by default. Actually, we can set to true in this case, so we can explicitly handle it if it's not there. Okay, we add one parameter, and then we have likes command maybe. Add param person 1. Okay, yeah, I actually have a nice idea. So this is going to be a string. It's not optional. And then person 2, just another string. Not optional. Right, I can chain it, right? Mount. Okay, and this is going to be a number. And this is optional. Oh yeah, this, I guess it's actually one missing, right? Obviously have set function, which actually does not return anything. Right, and then this is where the command function comes in. Specifies the function that is executed, the parsed parameters if they match type and okay. Just add another pointer to like this, you know, auto parsing and the condition, right? So because it's not executed, right? So the error handling is done for the user. So you don't need to explicitly in each command check, oh, do I have that many parameters and stuff? And so no, if your function gets called, you're guaranteed that all non-optional parameters are present and the correct type, and you only need to check the optional ones. But you know, you explicitly said it's optional, so you obviously need to handle it. Okay, just update this and then set function. Yeah, and this takes a stat function, which is also an explicit decision. Just takes a const stat vector of parameters. Maybe I could make like a type def for this, like a small class, like parameter list. Maybe that would also be nice. Let's see. Params. Okay, so I do add console string. Add console string f. Hello. Like this. Params. String. Yeah, I guess maybe kind of make some types to abstract that a bit and add error handling. But I mean, this is the first draft, right? Okay, then add the function here. Constant vector. I guess it's a bit annoying to write, probably. And then here I can add console string. I can check if params, oops, that size is bigger than 2. Then we do have the last parameter, else we don't. So then we want to add a console string. And also note that it's on a new line, right? I don't know if I want to allow writing in the same line. Although this would allow for some like end curses stuff, you know, like actual manipulation of the command line, and then maybe also allow modifying past command lines, right? Like the string of past command lines, and then you could write a renderer for the command line inside the game. You know, I don't know. It's just, you know, kind of get rolling. And I already had like another thought, because you can make, because although about recursive commands, because that's where it gets interesting, right? Also like keyword like Turing machine, right? Because can you, yeah, I mean there's a lot of thoughts right now, right? But like basically you can now execute like commands from inside commands, right? But you can specify other commands as arguments. Maybe I will add that, but probably do not, because it adds some complexity. But what you obviously could do is just pass the string, and then you interpret in your command the string as your next command, and then you basically pass the stack, or like the parameters of the next command as like the next parameters. And you could do some you could already do some funny shit with this. So Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so here I just want to do some constant string f, I guess. Okay, so then I do params like 0. And then params 2 dot number. And if the last one is not present, we'll just replace that with but we don't know. Okay, sadly we can test this, right? Because nothing's implemented yet. But you know, it's I really like this, especially if it's such a kind of client-side application, or like such a user, like so. You know, it has its whole front to the user. You basically program for the user, so yeah, it's just very important to get the interface right. That's, you know, the last development videos what I've also been doing, just defining the interface up front, really, right? And then yeah, and then doing the implementation later, all the internal stuff. Which is also pretty interesting, because now the skeleton stands, but it doesn't do anything. Right. Yeah, maybe we'll already look into abstracting this a bit. So obviously this is dangerous, right? 'Cause what if you access the wrong type? So we, I guess, can just make a getter. So first, just like I've done it with the tile object, remove the filters. Yeah, like here. With the tiled object, the custom property, so I can set, yeah, and you obviously, yeah, you just don't want to allow access, right? And in the very few cases where the user is so knowledgeable that he knows that, where are we? Okay, here. He wants to access, oh, okay, so the boolean, wait, the boolean is actually only 1 byte, right? So I guess it's just like, wait, one byte, right? So 8 zeros, right? And then, I mean, I guess the union is initialized to 0, so the float is also just gonna be 0. But what if the boolean is 1, right? What if the boolean is 1? What is the float gonna be then? So then probably the first byte is initialized, so then that means the so it's then minus, so the float is then minus, and it's, yeah, and then it's 0, like, because only the mantissa, right? It's like 7 bytes or something, and then with the sign, so I guess it could actually be yeah, just 0, because there's like no actual decimal. You know, but in the very few cases we actually would want to like cross-access something, you can just manually do like a mem copy or something, right? So you just kind of want to eliminate the case, obviously. And it also writes a lot clearer if you can like call the getters. And I can also make a string, right? Problem again is I can't name them twice. the same because it's the same return type. So I guess, yeah, I don't know. With these questions, I'm always like, throughout the project, I've often used, I'm more likely to use the Jasta just because of the memory. But yeah, I mean, I have to be more lenient with this because I mean, it's, I don't know. For example, my other project, like the Raynaud's editor, I thought so much about like optimizing the memory and also making the nodes very small in memory, and also making them compile time sized, so you know the size is fixed and all the memory is like local, you know, inside the node. I don't know, and it just, you know, you get something that's, I guess it is fast, but you just, I don't know, you don't really necessarily care, right? As long as it's fast enough, you don't care. And sure, with the game engine you actually care, but with the editor you just, you don't care, you know, it's not crucial, and you lose something, right? You lose like usability and features, because there's some features I'm missing from the editor, which I'm thinking about maybe redoing it even. Yeah, I'm just fully embracing the modern C++, you know, just I mean, I've actually never, like my 2 years now program, never just once wrote like shared pointer, right? Which I don't know if it's good or bad, but yeah, because I embrace this modern C++, which does so many things for you, which comes at a slight abstraction cost. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta ease up a bit, I guess, about these things, because it's just nonsensical to not to do so. So here, yeah, how are we gonna name this? So I would still say that like just as the string, and then because I guess I did it like this somewhere else. No. This is still okay, it's not without filter. Red. Okay, so then get bool, and this is also actually const. This is const. I guess actually everything is const. Yeah, but then no discard. I don't know. It's so big and distracting. I don't actually know if I like it. You know, it just makes everything seems. I mean, for me, I got all the I get the warnings, right? So for me, it looks better if I add it, but I guess for someone else. So actually not specified team, let's see, uninitialized, which is actually true. Just make a private constructor. Right, this is not rocket science. Get float. I guess actually here I can make the. I like this a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I can bring in the types with a number. Okay. Guess we can get rid of this, something we need. So yeah, this is the optional notation. This is just a required optional entry. Just an argument, I guess. We know that. Okay, let's look into just a quick implementation. So this is actually everything we just, I mean, this is only part of it. It's also the main part is actually in the console data. Which already has like 200 lines for all the rendering code that exists currently. Yeah, but this needs a refactor. First of all, there's going to be a renderer which just contains the logic, which gets passed the data, and then he does the rendering, because there's some additional variables that just don't need to be in here. And this will get some accesses like add string, yeah, and adds string f, which then actually just calls add string internally. Yeah, then submit. Yeah, which actually is without parameter, right? Because it all happens inside here. But I mean, yeah, you get the idea. This needs to be refactored a bit. But this is actually where the main thing happens. And here we just do the implementation of the header, like one by one. And this, yeah, I mean, this up here is then also outdated. Wait, it's actually down here now. Maybe actually move this up, just that it's more visible. Then we need here types, so that we actually get the forward to declare. Right, because we're only operating on references, so we can just forward declare it, which is very nice. Right, okay, so I actually need the name and the info. We can just get the command, which is very nice, but then just don't forget to add a name. And an optional description. And then I guess I make this internal as well, so I can actually change this. Make this an internal type, just to kind of abstract away this. Struct console. Wait, what is it? Console command. Data. Agent memory. Haha. Damn. I remember this. Also still missing the example. Just a funny story. I mean, this red example. I mean, red means it's not committed to the Git yet, right? It's been sitting here for like a month. It's completely empty because the example still sits in like. This was a quest game which I was working on, right? And then the source and the main. Yeah, here sits my example. Now this is exactly what I mean earlier, right? You just make all your test code in the main method, but you don't actually commit it here. So yeah, so our data. So this is then just yeah, what I need to, let's just write it down. So I do have, I mean, I need to make a copy of those actually. But I want to make, so just kind of think about that, so I'm not leaking memory again. The problem is I don't want to include string here, right? Because it's like a low level include, what I would call it, right? It's included in a lot of headers. I don't want to just include a big include here, so I can't use complex types here. So I kind of do. So I am leaking the strings again, I guess. I don't care. I don't know. It's just like some. That's actually. I seen it today again. I mean, I don't know. I guess in some way it's true, right? It's like you're never gonna notice it. It's like what? 50 bytes. I mean, I guess actually here kind of matters, right? Could potentially be a lot. Oh, yeah, actually, okay, this kind of does matter. With the tile object, okay, fuck, okay. This actually, it actually does matter. With the console commands, it actually doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking, right? Why? Because the problem is the destructor. If I just make it destructor, it's freeze it. It's just annoying in a lot of places. For example, if I make, the thing here. Okay, then if I register it, if I register the command builder, then actually, I guess, actually call this command already, not command builder, but yeah, so then I register it and then I need to copy it on register again, right? Which should actually happen in here with like the operator assign, right? Which should actually then copy the data. So I guess I'm just not properly using the C++ operators, right? It's, I don't know, it's like in my other project, when you kind of try to do like C-like programming, right? But use C++, and then you kind of, it's like with all these destructor, constructor, and operate overloadings. It's like a door. You know, once you open it, you kind of have to commit to it. It's kind of annoying. Because for example, like the I get some really weird compile errors then when you kind of delete the copy assignment operator, but you have a move. But you have to move operators, and then because they are implicitly like gonna generate it when you return an object or something, because it actually kind of gets copied into the like return address for some reason. And then there's some weird rules when it is copied, when it is moved, but then you still kind of need to define the copy assignment operator, because otherwise it just doesn't compile, but actually the move operator gets called. Yeah, and this is, I don't know. And this is like annoying stuff, but yeah, I guess it's the proper way to do it, right? Yeah. The problems of a C++ writing person. Okay, yeah, let's actually wrap this up somewhere here. Well, I'm gonna do the implementation now. Just kind of finish the parameters. So I have like these two, obviously, and then I need, I would need some kind of like dynamic size data structure here, right? Like a vector or something, but I can't. I mean, yeah. I guess what is it, like 2 variables and then the vector and then I guess the function as well. Oh, I actually can't have a std function in the internal types header. Yeah, I guess it does. I have to scrap that idea. But then if I have to all the operators as well, it's going to look so big and scary, you know. This is what I want to avoid. This is actually kind of getting annoying, but I don't know if I want to turn it off. Oh, I inserted it. Inspection. I cannot. Inspection description. Okay, there it is. To remember functions in order to highlight at compile time, which return value should not be ignored. Damn, this kind of Windows slider just in here randomly. That's okay. Yeah, okay, so I guess this just needs to be hidden, but then I can use this nice type def. Just func, and then std. Do I even use a vector for this? Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to. Maybe you just embrace the ease of use instead of writing something like I did with the save, the game save. The kind of slot based, and then you have individual slots, and each individual slot is basically like an array, right? But just implemented like manually, right? Maybe I have to assign data, right? Yeah. Which then costs the cell.assign. Just like, you know, each cell can then grow and free, you know, it's like, I don't know, is it worth it to write all that code? I don't know. Probably not, but I'm gonna say, I don't know, I just have to, you know. I just want to manage my bytes personally, you know. I don't know. I guess it's just something I should reflect on in the future. Okay, so yeah, then do I have a parameter? Yes, I do need some kind of special type, yeah. I guess this is going to be the internal type then. Console command data. It actually still fits, I guess, the name. So so each command, I guess I can use a vector, but I could, yeah, a vector of command. Okay, so is it optional? Oh, I need a list of types here. Yeah, this is actually still an initializer list, which, you know, that's actually interesting, right? Because you might think, what does a vector do different here than an initializer list, right? And the difference is the vector allows dynamic at runtime behavior, right? And the initializer list does not, because you have to specify the initializer list at like explicitly, right? Like at compile time, or at least it's not mutable, right? So you actually have to write like your values, right? With the vector, you can just, I don't know, open a file, pass a number from a file, make a for loop from the number from the file, and then add how many entries, right? But the vector does allocations. The initializer list does not. You know, these are like the type of things, you know, you have to think about. Or at least I'm thinking about. And I guess in this case you just don't need this dynamic. I guess, yeah, it's just dynamic behavior. And you can still achieve like pseudo-dynamic behavior, right? You can read the file, parse the number, make an if statement, and then hard code the initializer list. Right, but that's, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, so how do I actually do this? So the initializer list that just gives me iterate over the elements. Damn. Yeah, I mean I just have like 3 types total, right? So I do need a none, like a none type. Like an empty type, but I don't want to expose it. Or do I want to? So I do have a number, boolean strings, like a none type. Doesn't make sense because I can't specify it, right? Because they are separated by white space. And what if I make the none string special, but a none does nothing, right? What does it do? There's no real application for it. It just adds complexity. Yeah, so then I need to make this a1, I guess. Then I can use 0 as my default value. Or just hide this. I make 4 my default value. So I do have a vector of internal command, console command, data. Yeah, actually it's parameter data. So I do parameter data. So then the bool, then I have a parameter. Oh, okay, but yeah, I can move this type. I wanted to move this anyway. Actually, I'll search here. Yeah, put it here. I guess below the noise type, we grow towards the bottom. And this is also getting long and long. 600 lines, just definitions. I like it. I like it somehow. It's just kind of simple types, you know. Obviously it's a low level include. Gets nothing but standard int, right? In config it's nothing. Yeah, it's just very simple types, simple accesses, enums, stuff. So the intended workflow is that you see the parameter type and then you click on it. Every ID has that or something. Then you come here to the definition and you read it. Well, I guess that's pretty much, that's fine. Yeah, and this class will also then be moved in here, right? Okay, yeah, but now I have access to it because this includes types. Yeah, I can have at most 3 different types. Yeah, but actually 0 initialize it, so it's big. So I don't need to explicitly initialize it. Also 4. I mean, okay, it's a byte wide, so I could just use 4. Yeah, but sometimes in like memset, right? If you do want to set bit values, something, that's annoying. so then, yeah, what types, and then what's left? The name, okay. The func is actually the biggest one. It's used to work to just move the lines. Okay, how big is this then? 72. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Should call this command. Okay, we're missing something. Okay, so then the question is, do I pass the vector directly, or do I pass like a type, like called like parameter list or something? Like, do I need any more information? Because what I'm getting here, I'm getting the size, so it's the amount of parameters, I'm getting the types and the value. There's not really like any other information, right? Like, I guess I could pass the command itself, right? I guess that's. Actually, just now that I think about it, I do have an internal description here. Yeah, so this these then will not be allocated, because they will be allocated here. This means they have to stay valid, but it's not really a problem. That is actually just This has to stay command, because it just makes so much sense when you type it. This looks very nice. Yeah, and then like the command func. Do I not have access to it? Yeah. I should have, but I mean, it's just a type diff. Right. Okay, I gotta go. Yeah, so yeah, but this then just going to be the data holder, but that's fine. I mean, the other option is to, like, you know, not save all the data in here, but kind of split it up. Like, pass the name, and then like a parameter list, but I guess this, it just looks very nice, but it's a bit more inefficient, right? Yeah, but I mean, as we said, we have to get a little bit more loose with the yeah, the abstractions. Okay, yeah, and then I guess we're gonna leave it here. The implementation is going to follow tomorrow then. Yeah, it's going to be quite fun implementing the parsing for the parameters with the simpler rules. Then doing validation, making a few fun error logs. Yeah, you really gotta enjoy it, right? Like, I don't know, I just like making things for like other people to use, right? I don't know, it's just fun to like prepare things and then give them to the user, you know, and then yeah, just make it kind of do some internal things, you know, validate stuff and then log some errors if it throws errors, and then pass it on. And I hope the user doesn't, you know, abuse the input you give it. That's just my 2 cents there, right there. Okay, no, but thanks for watching. We'll implement this tomorrow then. Bye bye.